All right, let's like alternate interior and all that kind of stuff. You should be fine with that, right?
Yeah.
So you okay 1 through 4? What about 4? What, do all of them? Well, we're gonna. You got a what? Yes. Yeah. All right. So, all right, we'll just fly through this really quick.
I don't know where the actual test is.
That's right. I gave you one. Yeah, I could skip a lot of these.
Yeah, I failed this test.
You failed it?
I didn't fail this test. I did not. I don't know
1,
actually. I can't find my
2,
test.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. Okay, here we go. 5 and 13. Look at it. 5 and 13. Right there. What are they to each other? Corresponding angles. Very good. What about 9 and 16? Where's 9? We're 9 and 16. Where's 16? Oh, I wrote weird. 9 and 16. That's a little bit of loop there. It's a 6. Yeah, alternate exterior, right? Because they're on opposite sides of the transversal. One's way at the top left, one's down at the bottom right. So they're alternate, and they're exterior angles. Easy enough. So it's given that A and B are parallel to each other. So if this one and this one are parallel to each other, and angle 6 is 89 degrees, so angle 6 right there is 89 degrees. Find angle 10. All right, so we got to find a relationship between angle 6 and angle 10. What is the relationship between those two angles? They're supplementary because they're consecutive interior angles. They're supplementary. So how do we find angle 10 if I know this? Yeah, we just subtract it from 180, and there you go. That's all you do for that. All right, let's take a look at number 4. Let's go different colors so it stands out. Number 4, they say angle 8. They give you angle 8, right? And they give you angle 12. And they give you angle 11 right there. Okay? So angle 8 is 4x plus 10. Angle 12 is 7x minus 7. And angle 11 is 3y. All right, well, let's compare the x's together. Wouldn't you do that? So you can solve for x. So look at these. They're supplementary as well, right? Same kind of thing, consecutive interior angles, so you would add them up and set them equal to 180 degrees. All right, let's do that real quick. That's 11x, and that's a 3. Subtract a 3, that's what, 177? Did I do that right? Yeah. Divided by 11, what's that come out to be? Or is it just that? Is it a decimal? 16.1, is that what you said? All right, we'll keep it a decimal. Or if you just wanted to keep it like that, that's perfectly fine as well. But sometimes plugging that back into something, because you got to plug it back into this, don't you? All right, this is 4, yes. So it would be a lot easier putting a 16.1 into this, right, using a calculator than sticking in 177 over 11. So it's fine. I'm fine if you make this a decimal. All right, so if we want to solve for y, what's the relationship between angle 8 and angle 11? They're equal to each other. They're alternate interior angles, so they're equal to each other. All right, so I don't know, something weird popped up. So 4x plus 10 equals 3y. But how do I find, I got two variables. Yeah, we know what x is now, right? So I plug that in for this. So it's 4 times 16.1 plus 10 equals 3y, right? Figure out all that stuff, divided by 3, and then whatever. What'd you get for that? 24.8? All right, I'll let you do all the arithmetic. That'd be a waste of time, wouldn't it? So there you go. So that's 1 through 4, easy enough. All right, yes, ma'am.
Our midterm, is we gonna have like weird numbers like that on something like this?
There's a chance.
How many questions are
40 questions on the midterm. Yeah, let's just do one of them, okay? Well, actually, I kind of made a variety there, didn't I? On 5, 6, and 7. What is the slope? Slope is change in y over change in x. And what does that mean to change in something? It Means you just subtract them, right? All right, so that's your slope. Let's do the first one. So we can do this really quick. That's supposed to be a 5 right there. Negative 5, 11. I know, that's why I said that, so you wouldn't say it looks like something.
But then when you said it, we had to
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, negative 5, 11, and 5, 7. All right, find the slope between these two. So we subtract the y's, put them on the top. 11 minus 7 is 4. Negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10. We always reduce it, and that's negative 2/5. All right, easy enough. That was number 5 from the test. Number 6. Let's write these points down. 3, negative 2, and 12, negative 2. You got a repeat in here, don't you? All right, so let's take a look at this. The slope is the change in y. So negative 2 minus a negative 2. Minus a negative is plus, isn't it? It's negative 2 minus a negative 2. Okay, so that's a plus 2. And then 3 minus 12 on the bottom, correct? Because if I went, well, you can, because these two are the same anyway. But I always go the first one minus the second one. I like to be consistent with this, and I always go the first one minus the second one. That's just me, all right? But anyway, watch what you get. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 over, what's that? Negative 9. And what's 0 over anything? It's 0, okay? It's 0 slope. It's not no slope. It's not undefined, all right? It's 0 slope. What kind of a line is this? It's a horizontal. It's a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line. So 0 is your answer. Don't leave it like this. Now, if it was a CP class, I actually gave this to them, okay? And I might have even given it to you guys. But don't leave it like this. Write what this is equal to. It's 0. 0 slope. You don't even have to have the word slope next to it. You can just have a 0. Everybody with me on that? Now, there's a big difference between that and the next one. Look at this. They give you 8, 6, and 8, negative 4. Now, if you just think about what this looks like 3, negative 2, right? So 3, negative 2, 3, negative 2. 12, negative 2, right there. Look what kind of line it is. Horizontal line, isn't it? What about this? It's 8, 6, right? 8, 6 right here. 8, negative 4. What kind of a line is it? So vertical line, vertical line. So what kind of a slope does a vertical line have? It's undefined or no slope. Either one of those means the same thing. But if you wanted to do the math, you could always do the math. Change in y. 6 minus a negative 4 is 6 plus 4. And then 8 minus 8. And we get 10 over 0. You don't leave it like this, because what is 10 divided by 0? It's an error on the calculator, isn't it? But it's undefined. It's not 0. 10 divided by 0 is not 0. Should I say that again? 10 divided by 0 is not 0. Try that on your calculator. You'll get an error. That means the slope is undefined, which means it's a vertical line. Yes? Yeah, that means empty set or null set. You could do that. If you want to do that, you can. Make sure you put the slash through it, though. I wouldn't even take a chance. I would just say undefined. Okay? Or you could say no slope. NO, no slope. That's different than 0 slope. 0 slope is a horizontal line. I know that doesn't look very horizontal, but 0 slope is a horizontal line, and no slope is a vertical line. Horizontal and vertical aren't even close to each other, are they? No, they're like complete opposites, basically. All right, enough of that. Let's go to the stuff that we all enjoyed. It's that middle part that if you messed up this test, you probably messed up 10 through 15. Oh, we didn't do 8 and 9. Sorry. Let's do 8 and 9. We'll do that real quick. I'll just do one of these, okay? Is that all right? 'Cause I'm trying to get through the whole test in this one period, so we won't do every single problem. And then, because 9's very much like this. Negative 8, 3. And then V is negative 4, 2. Now the question says, tell whether line BT and MV, line MV, are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. All right, put a little question mark right there. So, are they parallel, are they perpendicular, or they're neither one of those? Well, what do we do to find that? Take BD and find the slope, or BT, sorry, and find the slope. So let's find the slope of BT. It's not really BT equals. You get the idea, right? I just put equals. It's the slope of it. If it's the same, then it's what? Parallel. If they are perpendicular, then the slopes are what? What's the word I use though? Negative reciprocal. I always say negative reciprocal. And if neither one of those things are true, then you say it's neither. The same slope is parallel. Think about it. If one slants like this and the other one slants exactly the same, right? Then they're parallel to each other. Would you agree? If they slant the same, that must mean they're parallel. They're parallel to each other. So anyway, let's do BT and find the slope. It's negative 4 minus 12. That's the change in y. The change in x is 1 minus 5. That's negative 16 over negative 4, which is positive 4. So the slope of BT is positive 4. Let's compare that against MV. So now we're going to take MV and find the slope of MV. Change in y, so it's 3 minus 2. Change in x is negative 8 minus a negative 4, which is plus 4. And what's that? That's 1 over negative 4. Now look, compare these two. They're negative reciprocals of each other, okay? So what must be true about BT and MV? They've got to be perpendicular, all right? And there you go. You can just write the word perpendicular if you want. It's fine. Everybody with me on that? You could do like this right here if you wanted. Everybody with me on that? All right, so you find the slope of the two and then compare them. What if the slope of this wasn't negative 1/4? What if the slope was 4? What would you say?
Parallel.
Then you'd say that they were parallel to each other, okay? What if this was like negative 4? What if this came out to be negative 4? You would say neither, right? Now they are opposite each other. They're negative signs of each other, but they're not reciprocals, though, are they? So you would say neither. Everybody got that? All right. So 9's kind of the same deal. It's probably parallel, isn't it? Or is it? I can't remember. Anybody looking at their old tests? No? Nobody's talking to me? Number 9. What was the answer for number 9? I don't have it in front of me. Okay. All right, number 10. Let's do number 10. It says, write the equation in point-slope form. Do you remember any of this stuff yet? Point, because we really haven't done a lot of this since we did this chapter, okay? Point-slope form. Probably because they have this. Point-slope form is y equals mx plus b. That's slope-intercept form, right? It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's the point-slope form. Why is it the point-slope form? Because they give you a slope and they give you a point. x1, y1 is your point. So they only give you one point and a slope. Got it? And this problem right here, guess what they give you? They give you a point and a slope. It couldn't be any easier. And let's see. And it contains the point 7, negative 3. All right, this is what they give you right here. They give you a slope and they give you a point. All you got to do is plug it in. You don't have to do any arithmetic or anything. You just plug the stuff in. But what do you plug it into, though? That's the key. This y and this x, just stay y and x in our problem. So I'm going to go y minus y1. What's our y1 in this situation? It's not 3, it's negative 3. So it's y minus negative 3. What's minus negative? It's plus 3. That's the best way to write it. Now, if you would have written y minus negative 3, I gave it to you, but it's a little irritating to see that. Write plus 3, please. All right? It's just is better if you do that. Equals m. What's my m? It couldn't be any more clear. They even tell you right there, m equals, right? So you put negative 3 over 2. And then you put a parentheses and you put an x. Okay, where the x is, you just put the letter x. Minus x1. So it's minus what? 7. And that's it. You're done. You don't have to simplify that. Don't change it to slope-intercept. Keep it like that, and you're done.
Which was the answer?
What I circled. That's your answer. No, this is what they give you. This is what they're giving you, and this is the answer. Alrighty. Let's do another one. Number 11. This says write the equation in slope-intercept form. In fact, all the rest of them, every single one of them, says slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form? Right, that's everybody's favorite, right? So it's y equals mx plus b. Yeah. All right, so that's slope-intercept form. Every one of these, 11 through 14 or 15, is going to ask you for slope-intercept form. So that is what you really need to know right there. So let's see what they give us. They give us a slope and they give it a point, just like they did on the other one. So this time they say the slope is 3 and the point is -5, -6. Now, if you wanted to, we didn't really do this, but if you wanted to, since they give you a point and a slope, you could put it into the point slope form, but then what would you have to do after you put it in this form? Solve for y and simplify it, right? Everybody see that? And if you wanted to do that, that's perfectly fine. I got no problem with you doing that. In fact, it might be a little easier. I mean, that's why you learn the point slope form. If they give you a point and they give you a slope, that's a perfect place to put that into. All right? Everybody with me on that? So if you wanted to do that, you could. Well, let's do that. Might as well. So y minus y1 minus -6 is +6, correct? Equals m, which is 3, times x minus x1. X minus -5 is +5. Everybody see that? Now all we got to do is simplify this and solve for y. Got it? So let's just do one step at a time here. 3x plus 15, subtract a 6, and it's 3x minus, what's that, 9? And that's it. That's slope-intercept form, isn't it?
Wait, wouldn't it be +9?
Yes, of course. I was testing to see if you...
Wait, how do you do it again? You don't fill it in that
All right, let's do it if you don't do the slope point slope form. You could just use the slope-intercept to do this, but you have to realize what's what. This -5 is x, isn't it? This -6 is y. So you could just use this form that you already have written down and just plug all the stuff in and then solve for b, then put it all together. Might be easier to do it this way right here with the point slope form, but this is just as good too. Right? So instead of y, it's -6 equals m, which is 3, times, it's a weird looking 3, let's change it before everybody freaks out. Okay, there's a 3 times x, which is -5, and then we don't know the b, though, do we? Y-intercept. So we put plus b. So now you just solve for b. Once you get b, you put the slope and the y-intercept together, get the form. All right, so it's -6 equals -15 plus b. Add a 15 to both sides, so b is 9. Now you put it all together. Y equals 3x plus 9. This was a little more straightforward, don't you think, than this was? But sometimes it's nice to do it this way. If they give you a point, they give you a slope, you could do it either way. These are two different ways to do it. You still get the same exact answer. Everybody got that? All right. Let's do another. Let's go green, 12. All right. Oh, this time, still slope-intercept form, okay? Just all the rest of them are going to be. They give you 2 points this time. They don't give you a slope. They give you 2 points. But that's exactly right. That's what I was going to ask. You're right. That's what you do. You find the slope then. So they don't give you a slope on this. They just give you 2 points, but you could figure out what the slope is, though, couldn't you? So let's do that. We're going to need the slope anyway, aren't we, for slope-intercept form? So let's find the slope. Change in y, -4 minus 8 over change in x, 2 minus 5. That's -12 over -3, and that's +4. So the slope of that is 4. Now you got a couple possibilities. If you wanted to use the point slope form, you could use that. If you want to just stick it into the the slope intercept form, you could do it that way as well. What do you think you like better? Let's do the point slope form again, okay? Is that all right? But you got to pick one of these points. Which one would you rather pick?
Bobby.
All right, just because it doesn't have a negative in it. All right, so y minus what? y1, which is 8, equals the slope, 4, times x minus the x1, which is 5. Now all I got to do is just get y by itself. All right, pretty easy, isn't it? So y minus 8 equals 4x minus 20. Add an 8 to both sides. Y equals 4x. If I added 8, what's that? -12. And there it is. Simple as that. If you wanted to, you could use the slope-intercept form, couldn't you? Take this point, put the 8 in for the y, put the 5 in for the x, solve for b, and then put it all together like this. This might be a few less steps. All right. Seems so much easier now, doesn't it? Than when you did this before? Might as well. We'll get out of here a little bit later, right? We got 5 minutes. Okay, so let's. I tell you what. Like, let me see your actual test. The original test. Except for the last two, right? Everything else is the same except for the last two, correct? I, if I remember, I won't put 19 and 20 from your original test on there.
Wait, what about
All right, that was a little bit tough. I could do that. Yeah, I'll go over that. It's really easy. It's just drawing a picture. I mean, it's really easy. But let's keep going with this slope intercept and all that stuff. What are we on? 13. This time they tell you the x-intercept. This always throws people for a loop. X-intercept is -6, and then the y-intercept, which is nice that they give you that, isn't it? Because that's one of the things that we're trying to find anyway, isn't it? All right, so I know what the y-intercept is 2. So the b is 2. What's the only thing I really need to find here? Is the slope. That's right. So how in the world do I find the slope? Well, let's think about this for just a half a second. Watch. The x-intercept means it crosses the x-axis where? At -6. So what's the ordered pair right there? It's -6, 0. That's right. And then the y-intercept is +2 right there. So that is 0, 2. So just knowing the intercepts, that gives us 2 points, doesn't it? Well, 6. We went over 6. Right? You could use the graph if you wanted to, or you could just plug the stuff in. All right, so what would it be? It'd be 0 minus 2. It'd be -6 minus 0. That's -2 over -6, and that is +1/3. So the slope is 1/3, and I'm basically done all my math for this problem, aren't I? Y equals 1/3 x plus 2, and that's my answer. You do?
Yeah, that's weird.
Good. All right. 14. We've got 2 more of these type. 16, 17, and 18 were easy, right? Yeah, I think that should have been pretty easy. So let's do 14. Let's do this. It says write the equation slope-intercept form for a line that goes through the point 8, -1. And watch what, this is a little different. It says it's perpendicular to this line right here. That's right. So really, the only thing that we really care about this line is finding its what? Its slope. All right. The slope of this line is 2, but the slope of my line has to be perpendicular to this line. So what's the slope of my line going to be? It's going to be -1/2 because it's perpendicular, negative reciprocal. Flip it, take the opposite sign. This is the slope of the line that they give us, but the line I'm trying to figure out is perpendicular to this line. So the slopes must be negative reciprocals of each other. So if the slope of this is 2, the slope of my line has to be you flip it and you take the opposite sign. So it's -1/2. Now, we've already done this, right? We've done that a bunch of times. You can now, you got a point and you have a slope, right? You could put it in the point slope form and then get y by itself and you'll be good to go.
Why can't you do it in the slope?
You can. You can. You do it either way. All right. I think we've decided today that maybe that point slope form might be a little bit easier to put it back into. So that's why I said that. All right. And 15 is pretty much the same kind of deal. Actually, a little easier. So it's 0, 7. And it's what? It's parallel to this. Y equals 4x minus 19. So the slope is the same. And watch, I don't even have to do any math with this. Look at this point 0, 7. What is it, Daniel? That's right. That's the y-intercept right there, isn't it? 0, 7. That's the b. If you just looked at it and realized that, and look, they gave you everything you needed. You didn't have to do any math with that at all, did you? All you have to do is go y equals 4x, what? Plus 7. Does that make sense? So that was nice if you realized it, right? Save you a little bit of work, save you a little bit of time. I didn't give the answer. I don't know.
Was it 1/2 x minus?
I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Couldn't tell you. Yeah, you got the test in front of you. All right. Do you mind if we skip 16, 17, 18? Let me just do one of these.
I thought you said 19, 21 beyond this.
You said 16.
Not of the original test. I'll probably put something like this CP test on there. Okay, just to make it a little easier for you. Because, I mean, my goodness, you got 40 problems to do, right? So.
CP test
Doesn't it say CP on the top of it?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Well,
All right,
I
look.
instantly saw that when I got it.
All right, look at this. It says, construct a segment that represents the distance indicated. So I want to go from C. Why is everybody packing up? I'm not done. To AB. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to construct it, which means just draw it. The distance from point C to AB. So what do? Do I go to here? Do I go to here?
No.
Does it matter where I go? Absolutely. It's got to be what? Perpendicular. And how do I show that? Put a little right angle thing. So what's in yellow right there is basically her answer. That's what I had the CP kids do. All right. So, yeah.
How would you do 20? You can't.
Well, you'd extend it. Take that AB on number 20. You extend AB out a little bit and then make it perpendicular. We good? All right, we'll do chapter 4 tomorrow. We're all finished with this.
I feel like that'd be